because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong. AI pictures of me naked, literally. They've sent it to my family members. It sucks to see that. And it's really hard that I have to go through that. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship.
Angel Reese's career just crashed and burned the Chicago sky, fired her for steroid use. It's a huge deal that's got everyone in the WNBA talking, but here's what's crazy. This whole mess started way before the steroids. Want to know the real story behind Reese's downfall? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. This scandal is shaking up the entire WNBA. Raise went from being the next big thing to a huge warning sign for young players. It's wild how fast things can change, right? 1 minute you're breaking records, the next you're breaking rules. But hold up, there's more to this story than just some pills. Reese's fall from the top is like a crazy roller coaster ride. We're talking drama on and off the court, team problems, and pressure that would make anyone crack. You ready to hear how a rising star became the talk of the league for all the wrong reasons? Let's break it down from her amazing start to the shocking finish that no one saw coming. You thought steroids were the beginning. Think again. Reese's downfall started way earlier, in a place you'd never expect at the peak of her success. What if I told you her record-breaking rookie season was the very thing that set her on the path to disaster? Let's rewind to the start of Reese's WNBA career. She burst onto the scene like a human highlight reel, putting up numbers that had everyone's jaws on the floor. We're talking 6 points and 1 rebounds per game. That's not just good, that's rewrite the record books. Good. Reese snagged the WNBA record for most rebounds per game in a season. But wait, there's more. This rookie wasn't just breaking records, she was shattering them. 15 consecutive double-doubles. Let that sink in. No one in WNBA history had ever done that before. Reese wasn't just playing, she was dominating. The Chicago sky thought they'd struck gold with this powerhouse forward. But here's where things get wild. All that success, it started messing with Reese's head. The pressure to keep performing at that insane level was like a ticking time bomb, and guess what? It exploded right in the middle of the season. Suddenly Reese wasn't just making headle for her play. Drama started following her everywhere, on the court, off the court, it didn't matter. She was stirring up trouble faster than she was grabbing rebounds. Her teammates were getting fed up, and the coaches, they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. You'd think a star player would know how to handle the spotlight, right? Wrong. Reese's attempt to stay relevant took a nosedive into controversy. She thought trash talk and drama would keep her name on everyone's lips. Spoiler alert, it did, but not the way she wanted. Fans who used to cheer her name were now booing. The media that once praised her every move was now picking apart her attitude. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Reese's performance started to slip, but her ego, that was still in overdrive. The worst part, Reese couldn't see the damage she was doing. Every time she opened her mouth, she dug herself deeper. Her stats were dropping, but the drama kept rising. It was a recipe for disaster, and everyone could see it coming except her. Remember those amazing double-doubles? They became a distant memory as Reese struggled to keep up with her own hype. The Chicago sky went from celebrating their rookie sensation to wondering if they'd made a huge mistake. As Reese's star began to fade, another relationship was about to change everything. Picture this: a coach so focused on one player, she forgot about the rest of the team. Sound crazy? That's what went down with Reese and Weatherspoon, and it rocked the entire Chicago sky. You'd think a coach would know better, right? But Teresa Weatherspoon was all in on Angel Reese. She saw something special in the rookie, and she wasn't about to let it go. Weatherspoon believed in Reese when no one else did. It was like she'd found a diamond in the rough, and she was determined to polish it until it shined. Reese felt it too. She called Weatherspoon an unsung hero and said she was the only person that believed in me, the one that trusted me. It's touching, right? A coach taking a chance on a young player, helping her reach her potential. But here's where things go off the rails. Weatherspoon's focus on Reese started to mess with the team's balance. It's like she forgot there were 4 other players on the court. Game plans all about getting Reese the ball. Team meetings might as well have been one-on-one sessions with Reese. The other players, they were starting to feel like extras in the Angel Reese show. Take Camila Cardoso, another rookie with tons of potential. She was supposed to be part of the Sky's bright future, but with all the attention on Reese, Cardoso's development took a back seat. It's like Weatherspoon had tunnel vision, and Reese was the only thing she could see the team's chemistry. It went from bad to worse.
AI pictures of me naked, literally. They've sent it to my family members. It sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that.
I'm filled with emotions right now, and I have a season-ending injury, but I'm filled with much gratitude for what's next. I'm finally able to give myself a physical and mental break. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Imagine being in a group project where the teacher only cares about one person's work. That's what it felt like for the rest of the sky. Resentment started building. The locker room was like a pressure cooker ready to explode. And explode it did. The Sky season turned into a total disaster. They ended up with a 13-27 record. That's not just bad, that's clean out your locker bad. And guess who paid the price? Weatherspoon, the coach who believed in Reese so much, ended up losing her job. But here's the kicker. Weatherspoon's firing hit Reese hard. Remember how close they were? Reese went public defending her coach. She talked about how much Weatherspoon had done for her, how she believed in her when no one else did. It was emotional stuff, but it was too little too late. The damage was done. The team was in shambles. Weatherspoon was out, and Reese, she was left standing in the middle of the mess, wondering what went wrong. It's like the floor had dropped out from under her, and that's when things got really bad. With her biggest supporter gone and the team in chaos, Reese started to spiral. The pressure to perform, to live up to the hype, to prove Weatherspoon right. It was all too much. And that's when she made a choice that would change everything in sports. There's a fine line between dedication and desperation. Reese crossed that line, and the consequences were swift and severe. How did her choice impact not just her career, but the future of women's basketball? You won't believe how quickly things fell apart. Once the truth about Reese's steroid use came out, it was like a bomb went off in the WNBA. 1 minute Ree was struggling but still hanging on. The next, she was out of a job and the whole league was in chaos. Here's how it all went down. The Chicago Sky's management found out about Reese's steroid use during a routine drug test. They didn't waste any time. Boom, Reese was fired on the spot. Can you imagine how that felt, going from star player to unemployed in the blink of an eye? The team was in shock. Players were crying. Management was freaking out. It was like someone had pulled the rug out from under the entire organization. And you know what's crazy? The Sky blamed Reese's steroid use for their terrible season. They said it messed up the team's chemistry so bad they couldn't even make the playoffs. But this wasn't just about one team. The whole WNBA was rocked by the news. Reese wasn't some nobody. She was supposed to be the future of the league. Now she was the biggest scandal the WNBA had ever seen. The fallout was intense. Fans were divided. Some were angry, feeling betrayed by a player they'd looked up to. Others felt sorry for Reese, wondering what could have pushed her to this point. The media was having a field day dissecting every detail of Reese's career, and the WNBA, they had to face some hard truths. This wasn't just about one player making a bad choice. It forced the league to look at the bigger picture. Why would a young star risk everything for a performance boost? What kind of pressure are these athletes under?
Hitter number 2, WNBA Player of the Week. There have only been 40 triple-doubles in the history of the WNBA. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong. End quote. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said.
The league had to step up its game. When it came to drug testing and player support, they realized they needed to do more to help young athletes deal with the pressure of pro sports. It wasn't just about catching cheaters anymore. It was about preventing players from feeling so desperate they'd risk their careers. Reese's story became a wake-up call for everyone in women's basketball. Coaches started paying more attention to their players' mental health. Teams began offering more support services. The WNBA even launched new programs to help rookies adjust to life in the big leagues. But for Reese, it was too late. She went from being the next big thing to a cautionary tale. All those records she broke, they didn't mean anything now. She'd thrown it all away for a shortcut that ended up being a dead end. The worst part, Reese had to watch from the sidelines as her former teammates and rivals continued their careers. She saw players she used to dominate on the court living her dream while she was left with nothing but regrets. It's wild how fast things can change in sports. One bad decision and years of hard work go down the drain. Reese learned that lesson the hard way. She thought steroids would help her keep up with the pressure, but they just created a whole new kind of pressure she couldn't handle. Angel Reese's story is wild, right? She went from breaking records to breaking rules in the blink of an eye. It's like watching a basketball star crash and burn in slow motion. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Reese, it's about the whole system. Think about it, how do we help young athletes handle all that pressure? Reese's coach believed in her so much, she forgot about the rest of the team. That's crazy. And when things got tough, Reese turned to steroids. It's a mess from top to bottom. So what can we learn from all this? Maybe it's time to focus on more than just winning. We need to build stronger teams, support our players better, and remember why we love the game in the first place, because at the end of the day, it's not just about breaking records, it's about playing with heart and integrity.